What's up, everybody? Welcome to this episode of Chewin the Rag. Today, we are joined by a very special guest. If you know, you know. I've been talking about it, I think, for a week now. Please welcome Jon Ramirez to the pod. How you doing, John?
Hey, thanks for having me, dude. Great to be here. Great to be back on a podcast in a second. It's been like a while for me. I've just been, doing my thing with streaming and all that stuff, just posting on TikTok and things like that. So it's good to talk, man. I love your content. I like the format and dude, I love like podcasts is mostly what I listen to now. So
Yeah, yeah. No,
yeah,
I
dude.
appreciate it. Building up to this, you kept saying like it's been a while. It's been a while. So, were you doing the pod while streaming, or did the pod lead you to streaming? How did that all unfold?
Yeah, so it was an interesting way that it all kind of started out. So a couple of my good friends, one of my good friends that I grew up, I went to school with them like since elementary school pretty much. We all grew up kind of locally in the Bay Area, and he started making like videos on YouTube and things like that. And he was like, you guys need to start doing this, like you guys should like make like whatever you like if you like this or that, like just start making videos. And I started watching MMA in like 2013, 14, I want to say.
Mm, hmm.
Like McGregor just started getting big, and then
Yep,
like I was just like, man, it's crazy to think about that now, how fast the sport moves.
I know it.
But I started to get into it, and then around I want to say when COVID hit, he was like, my same friend was like, you guys need to do it. Like if you, he's like, John, if you like UFC stuff, just do it, bro. And I started with streaming. I started off with the podcast actually, and I was like, it was kind of hand in hand. So I started um figuring out what I needed to stream.
Hmm.
And it's a good amount of equipment. It's like if you actually want to stream good gameplay, like you need a capture card, you need like um a pretty good PC. Like there was a little bit of barrier to entry for streaming. I had to, work a couple years to build my setup.
Yeah.
And but now it started off with I just have my laptop and like a basic little mic setup. Just
Oh,
with
wow.
I just with the one I use for streaming. Just and I I would just for first few episodes, like so I just made a podcast kind of like this, but it's good that you're doing the video because that's like by default now, right? Like
Yeah, yeah,
you
you have to.
yeah, dude, everyone wants to see your clips, right? Like the
Yeah, that's
clip, yeah,
exactly what it is. Exactly what
exactly.
it is.
Yeah, so that for me, I just was like, I'm just gonna talk into space, and I had an audio. Well, I figured out how to put audio onto like Apple and Spotify, and
Yo.
I was like, fuck it, it's out there. It's like into the somewhere in space,
Yeah.
and I tried it, and I tried it. I talked to a couple people actually, and then by the time I got video going, I actually got a couple of. That's when COVID was in full effect when I got the video. So I was like, dude, I'm just gonna do like this, like a Zoom meeting,
Yep.
and you just record it. Um, and I was doing that, but then slowly but surely, I was working at the same time, and I was kind of building my setup, getting like my capture cards and stuff. And then so I want to say I kind of like, yeah, for the first year or so that I made content, it was all the podcast. It was all just like talking to people and trying to.
Yeah.
I think that's the one thing I didn't edit it. I didn't edit it enough. Like I was just like I just wanted to put it out there, But I
Yep.
think these days it's pretty meta. It's like you already know, like you just got to get the clips out there and then give people a reason to
That's
come back
exactly
and get the.
exactly what it is. And then you're just hoping like and also the type of guests you get, you might just get lucky where you get a guy that already has a fan base built in and they want to hear what he says. And then you're
Mm,
like, oh, that episode got a lot of views. And then you're brought back down to earth when next week you have a guy who nobody knows on.
yeah,
But
man.
it's super
Yeah.
cool. Like I like that I had Sam Alvey on and then I had
Oh,
somebody who
nice.
yeah, and then it's just a regular guy on. And like I like kind of that different view on things and whatnot.
Yeah, it's just like yeah, there's like certain people that will attract like a certain audience, and I've
Yeah,
experienced that exact same thing, and it's just like it's a good exercise in consistency. Like it just like you're just like I just got to keep posting it and
yeah.
making it the best I can. And it's like some will do better, some won't. But yeah, it's a roller coaster.
It
Like
is.
so
It's
how long
good.
have you been doing the podcast for?
Yeah, so for those that know, I started I had a solo pod that I didn't do anything with years ago because I was doing stand
Mm.
up comedy and I wanted to do it
Oh,
kind of like
nice.
the same time. And then I didn't really do anything with that. I just kind of focused on getting on stage. And then 2000, I don't know, 20 or something like that, 21, right around kind of the COVID thing too, just right after COVID, I think actually.
Mm.
Somebody that I went to like middle school with hit me up and was like, "Oh, I didn't know you live in this area. Like, we should do a pod." So he would come over, and I always try to preface this with I don't want to shit on him, but it was just kind of like I was always like, "We can record this day. We'll do this, do that, do that," and then like
Yeah.
recording day would come, and if we were supposed to record at 3 at 2:55 or 3:30, I'm getting a text like, "Hey, I'm not gonna make it." It's like, dude, like I'm
Oh,
here.
yeah. Yeah,
So
dude.
it got to a point where I was like, all right, I think you don't really want it as much as I do, and that's cool. But I'm
Mm.
gonna do my own thing because
Right.
I had a Mac from like 2010 or 2013 that I was recording on this same mic. So I was like, I'm just gonna do my own thing. I upgraded, got two monitors. Um, we weren't doing video either, since you mentioned it.
Hmm.
We had the two mics, and whenever I wanted to put clips out, it was just our logo and then like what we're talking about. And it didn't really, you don't get that same effect as seeing two guys talking.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's interesting. It's like I think there was kind of this there was probably a period of time where like audio, like a lot of people kind of settled for like that audio only.
yeah.
And yeah, I think it's interesting kind of like when you look at how technology advances,
Mm-hmm.
like everyone was able, I'm not even using like my big camera right now, like it's just a little
Yeah.
webcam
Yep.
C920.
Yeah.
Everyone can get
Same thing.
one. Yeah, dude, everyone can pretty
Yep.
much be high quality on video now, and it's both good and bad, right? Because obviously you're gonna have like it's harder to break like through with your content and things
Yeah.
like that, but competition's good. Like gives you stuff to work off of, like people to study, and then back to your situation, like you can just grind it out. You can just like you have your clips, you have like people that when people do make it on, it's funny you mentioned it. Like I've had some friends that were really good about making it on a lot, and then
Yeah.
there were certain people that I was like, all right, this is gonna be like a special, this is a different guest. They would always be
Yep.
like, oh, we gotta reschedule. Oh,
I
sorry,
every
bro, to hit
time.
you up with an hour before, but it's like, oh,
Mm.
but yeah, man, it's like it teaches you how to work around it when you gotta pivot on
Yeah.
things.
The worst is when I have smaller scale or even just like mid tier, like UFC guys or athletes, and I'm in their DMs and we're talking, and then I jump the gun. I get excited. So like I'm teasing it. I'm like, oh, soon enough we'll have this guy on. And then months come by and it's like, where's that guy? Like I'm like, I promise I'm
Yeah,
not gonna
that
leak
can
messages,
happen.
but I promise we were talking. I'm not just name dropping.
It's tough with fighters, dude, especially. I bet the timing,
Oh
because like
yeah.
sometimes you'll talk to them and be like, yeah, yeah, we'll do it, but then like then they get a fight or something,
Yeah,
and
they're in
then they
Abu
just like,
Dhabi. It's like
yeah, they're just like can't even, they're not even checking, or their message gets buried.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's crazy. It's so cool. Like I always liked the UFC and like MMA community, because it's like it's such a massive, they recognize sport, but the community itself, like it's
It's
really
very yeah, yeah,
tight
yeah.
knit.
Very
It's a
tight.
very small world. And like when I started doing uh around the time I started doing content, like this whole time I've been doing it, I trained jujitsu. I trained BJJ.
Yep.
And it's the same thing. Like I would show up to a gym and I would be able to train with like, dude, I saw this guy fight, or like I saw this girl
Yeah.
fight, or this dude is like a world famous BJJ. Like it's crazy. And it's just like they'll say hi to you and they'll say what's up like anybody else. So
Yeah.
like in the world of like famous people, I always felt like martial artists are like highest percentage of cool people, you know?
I think so. I think I agree with that. They're like, and I don't know if it's just the way the sport is, you know what I mean? Because
Mm,
you make it big in like football, baseball, you're you're triple digits, and then there's a comma before you know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
dude,
Like you could
yeah,
be a very good
rock
mixed
star
martial
money.
artist and still just be like, all right, I'm grinding out money. I'm doing,
Right, yeah,
I'm
just making
balancing
ends
checks.
meet.
Like
Yeah, dude.
I
So
think I don't know if that has to do with it, but I bet you that's a little bit of it where it's you're a superstar to your sport, but unless you're like a John Jones, Connor, you may not be a superstar
yes,
to the world.
yes, yeah, that makes sense. And it's crazy because it's just the world is so huge. Like you could probably
Hmm.
even go around and find people that like I think GSP said it one time. This was when GSP was GSP. Like
Yeah.
most people knew like, oh, GSP, the fighter guy.
Right.
He was in his hometown and he had just like gotten armbarred by Matt Serra, I think. And then some old lady like didn't recognize him and like mistook him for like someone else and was like, and he's like, don't you know who I am? And she was like, oh. And he was just like, ah, okay. He's like, it's not like even like,
Yeah.
that's why I always loved GSP. He was always so humble about it. He kind of
Mhm.
recognized the small aspect of it. Like with somebody like Connor, it's harder because he's a damn movie
I mean,
star now. Like
you
he's
can't, yeah, he can't go
and
anywhere.
yeah, dude, he is so and I think I think it also goes into like how much you live like play into it. Like for him, that was what made him
Yeah.
famous. Like that, like being that personality. For GSP, it was just, he was always low key.
Yep.
Um, and then like, yeah, I think it's interesting, but I think the nature of the sport, like you said, plays into it. Like I think it's also just the training, just like martial arts training, just the brutality of
Yeah.
it.
You're constantly,
You're just a chill,
constantly.
you're like a chill, like just like I think of like just like karate guys after they're just like
Yeah.
those like Kodo like no what is it the Shotokan or just the ones that they kick each other and they're just
Yeah.
then
Yep.
they're just so chill. Like I see these Japanese guys, they're just like smiling, like really quiet, chill guy. I'm like, dude, you guys don't look like people that would just like
All right.
demolish
You
most of the
could kill me.
yeah, me, most of the people, like it's crazy. And I think it's just that humility, just that familiarity with something so hard. It just makes you so chill. Just like you don't have the energy for that, for
Yeah.
like
There's
bullshit,
nothing
for
else to really focus
drama
on. Yeah.
versus like, and if I had to compare it like athletes, like you said, like let's say like multi-million dollar like baseball athletes,
Yeah.
and these guys are like ready to fight. Like if a ball hits them or
Yeah.
something, they're like ready to fight. They clear the benches, they're all like
Yeah.
postured up, and then they're like, okay, we gotta calm down, we gotta calm down. And then the guys that actually fight are like the most chill people. I always thought
Yeah.
that was the funniest, and
It
that's
is.
why.
It's hilarious.
But
You recently went to purple belt, right? Recently got promoted or
I
no?
did. Yeah,
Yeah, I thought I
thank you
saw
for
that.
that, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a trip, dude. So I've been training for like jujitsu for 6 years. I train here just in a town over from where I stay, and then there's a big academy. The team's under a guy named Caio Terra, and he's a Brazilian guy, and he came over and he is just like super knowledgeable. Like if you ask,
Mm.
like Song Yadong has gone to train at the gym. Um, Yan Xiaonan was
Oh
with
wow.
him as well. Like so
Okay.
they came to train. I mean, like, I feel like when people come from Asia, like the gyms in California are like the first accessible spot, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know, but it's cool because they've come back multiple times. I think they like the detail of like the technique there. And it's just like that whole place and my teacher that I train with and everyone around, like you just kind of get that cerebral style of teaching.
Yeah.
And it's like I always really like that. It's kind of like it is like human chess, it's all about technique, it's all about and then you have to combine the fighting side with it. You have to combine like use like you know, it's a weird thing. They say like you don't use strength, you only use technique, but you should probably
You
like
should
lift weights
probably,
and
yeah,
keep
you should
yourself
probably
in
use a
some good
little bit of
shape.
strength.
Just a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like it's a good balance though. I think yeah, you need the technique with that or else it doesn't work. So it's just a great exercise and yeah, if you stay there long enough, like you get promoted and it's just
Yep.
but I've really taken like I said, the knowledge side, like just breaking it down, like I can it's just hilarious. Like there's like the meme of like, I'm a blue belt. And then when I tell my friends that are watching UFC, they don't know what's going on. I'm like, there's a Kimura. It's just like
Yeah.
big brain moment. I feel like that, but I feel kind of like good about it because it's like at least, I could try to make people see because like, Bilal just won
Yep.
and he was pretty dominant in that fight and his wrestling was really good.
Mm.
And it just goes back to like, yeah, it's like you have highly skilled fighters and striking and all this is the meta. Like the ground is like it wins fights, it wins
Yeah,
championships.
it's
And
literally we've seen it Dagestan alone and then
yeah,
Brazil,
yeah,
like the
over and
dominant
over.
guys, if they could get you down, that's their world. Like they're gonna
Ex-
win the belt off you.
exactly. And so I think at the very end of the day, like my inner jujitsu like mind is happy if I could at least get people to respect the grappling a little
Yeah,
more and
yeah,
not just
that's
see it
what it
as like
is.
hugging or just these
Yeah.
dudes are just, man, what are they doing on the ground like that with their legs like that? I'm just like, listen, man, it's harder than it
I
looks.
Yeah, the amount of times where I've watched a fight and you know, I'm with somebody who doesn't really watch fights. And it's like, so why doesn't that guy just get up? And I'm like, do you want me to show you why that guy can't get up? Like, I'm not even that good, but I can show you why he can't get up. And it's annoying. Like,
Yeah.
because you do want to be like, this is a professional, but like, not everybody's Derek Lewis. They're not just going to be able to pop up.
Yeah, heavyweights is a different animal
Yeah.
too. Like you show people heavyweight fights, you got to be like, this is a little different than
Yeah.
regular humans right here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, it's yeah, most people don't. It's just most people like it. I feel like if you took an average like Russian guy
Mhm.
watching fights, he would be like respect the wrestling
Yep.
because most people there
Yep.
grow up and do some sort of sambo or wrestling like in school. Us here, like yeah, you're lucky if you get people a good amount of percentage of people that do wrestling, but like where
Yeah.
I'm from, like a lot of people have no idea what grappling even feels like.
Yeah.
So it's just like and it's just it's very easy to underestimate how much another human resisting plus gravity if you're on the bottom, it just
I mean,
it's
you look at
exhausting.
that Demetrius Johnson thing. He tapped a black belt. What was he, 200 plus
Yeah,
pounds? And
brown belt at
it was brown belt,
IBJJF.
brown belt. Yep, yep,
Yeah,
yep.
and but
Yeah,
dude, that guy was huge. I would
he's a
not want to roll
monster.
against the guy that Demetrius went against. Demetrius just stayed calm and handled it,
Yeah,
and it goes back to that. Yeah, it goes back to the technique and just yeah, and recognizing it yeah, it's like as you kind of advance through jujitsu, you learn kind of like these rules of grappling. Like,
mm,
felt like blue belt, I was like, yeah, I really want to get good at like being able to do stuff from like my guard and go up and wrestle and stuff. And I got a little bit better at it, but now I'm like, dude, being on your back is like a no guarantee. It's
yeah,
like you're, especially in a fight, if you watch fighting a lot, like you're getting punched,
yeah,
there's a lot going on that's just not good for you. So it's just good to stay on top and use gravity. And that's like a general rule that you learn. It's just like once you get on top, you want to stay there.
yeah, yeah.
And yeah, and
Literally. Go
it's
ahead.
just it's oh sorry, yeah, it's just interesting. It's interesting how you kind of learn these things and it all helps when you're watching and when you can explain it to people because yeah, I know grappling gets a bad rap and all all the comments these days are about boring fights, but man,
Yeah.
they gotta win. They gotta win their win money.
They, that's the thing, and like, unfortunately, Dana's not really helping when he says things like, "Oh, I'm not upping the bonuses because there was no urgency." It's like, dude, they have show money and win money. Like at a
Yeah,
certain point, you gotta get to that win money. Like they can't risk losing because you want a Max Holloway Justin Gaethje ending every fight.
exactly. I feel like, dude, ever since that fight, people have been
Oh
so
God,
spoiled.
yeah.
Everyone wants it to be UFC 300, and I'm like,
Hmm.
dude, we gotta chill. Like some of them are not gonna be that great. Like UFC and 304 wasn't bad. Like Aspinall
No,
had a knockout,
yeah,
Patty, great submission against Green, and yeah, I just feel like people are just recency bias off of they just want to see Alex every time with a
yeah,
knockout or
yeah.
um, we get spoiled though. I think as MMA fans, it's just gonna get like we're gonna get more spoiled because of UFC. Like I think this is probably the most events they've put on. Like I remember it used to be a few pay-per-views a year,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then now it's just there's so much. And yeah, so people are gonna get used to those bangers and those barn burners and sometimes those grindy fights, the wrestling and sometimes you have wrestling like Gamrot. I don't know if you remember Gamrot and Saryukian.
Trying to remember.
They had some just wild wrestling. They just like were
It was just
flying,
like scramble,
cartwheeling,
yeah,
scrambling. I'm like,
constant scrambles, yeah,
and then they would sometimes get to a point in control, and then they would get out, and it was like,
yeah,
I'm like, oh, this is what you want to show somebody for wrestling. So
yeah.
it's interesting, but I think still like the best guys, they all have that base, that grappling, and
Yeah, it
I
hasn't
just
changed. Like since the beginning, it was like wrestling is the best base, jujitsu is the best base. Like that grappling base, being able to control somebody. I don't think there's anything better than that still to this day. And I've been watching, since early two. I was a kid, like early
Oh,
2000s. I'm
nice,
30. I'm
dude.
31. So like I've talked about it before on here, but back when I was a kid, if somebody invited you over for the fights, it usually meant like boxing. They'd be like, come watch the fights, and it was
Yeah.
boxing. Boxing was the big thing. But my uncle was just big into MMA, uh, trained right in my area and stuff. So he would be like, come over and watch the fights. And I'm watching just these two guys in a cage, and I'm like, "What the hell is this? This
Yeah,
is
you're like,
this
wait,
is what
this
I
is a
like."
yeah, this is different, but it's a good different.
Yeah, yeah. So like now and back then, like you said, you a couple pay-per-views, like Spike TV, stuff like
Mhm.
that. And now it's like every weekend you're getting something. Contender series on a Tuesday. Like people are, and I think like you said, I think that's what's contributing to, oh, this is a boring fight. And it's like I just think
Yeah.
last week you saw something that was special. So this seems boring.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna attract like more people with that are less informed
Hmm.
first, and then it's just yeah, we're gonna get saturated with it. And it's like it's crazy. I didn't even know that Sanhagen and Umar is this week as well.
Yeah. It's
It's just
like
like they're just oh another fire card. Like holy shit. And it's great if you've been like you said, like you've been watching it a long, long time. Like I've been watching it for like shit, probably like a little bit over 10 years myself
yeah,
now.
which is
And
crazy.
it's crazy. And so the sport moves fast and you're just like you gain an appreciation of it. And for the people that stick around, like I can't say good enough things about Jose, dude. Like coming
Yeah.
back and
Yeah.
beating the young dude,
So
like
insane.
and yeah, it's just like so I'm hoping that people stick around like and educate themselves as fans
Yeah.
because like yeah, man, like yeah, it's just there's so many legends still around. There's just so much cool stuff happening. But yeah, it's gonna get the commentary will get wide. That's why like what we're doing, me and you, is like very valuable. Like it's an educated view on MMA. I feel like because I kind of look adjacent to like football or basketball analysis, I feel like people are
Yeah.
really educated. Like people get really like good opinions on it because they're so mainstream. I still feel like there's just the casual level of MMA fans is just like kind of just rabid,
it's
just want to see fights.
it's such a young, like it's flying by. It's been around since late 90s, early 2000s, but it's as it's flying by, it's still growing. It's the weirdest thing how it
Yeah.
works out.
It
It's just
feel yeah, it's felt like it's been around so long, but like you
yeah.
compare it, it's like the 90s was like a 30-year lifespan for a sport as compared
Yeah.
to others is crazy.
Yeah.
But the growth has been awesome though. It's just been cool, man. It's been
Yeah,
cool to see.
it's been really cool to see, especially like I remember the first season of Tough. I forget which season it was that you could see the difference in production. They started like they had like a white in their eyes, and I was like, "Oh, this is like it's just gradually," and then they added just constantly. So I haven't really watched Tough since then, but I think it was Uriah Hall. I think that was the first season where I was
Yeah.
like, "Holy shit, this is production now. This isn't just."
Yeah, I remember. I think that was the season I came back to because it was that one where he just ran through everybody on that show,
Everybody. I thought
and
he
then
was going to be
I
the
I thought he
greatest to
was
ever do it
yeah.
at one point. I was like, he's
There's so
next.
many interesting cases like
I,
Uriah Hall, like just the
dude.
potential is so high, and then you don't know what. I think his biggest win was Musasi,
Yeah,
like he caught him,
he
and then
caught him.
Musasi ended up coming back and beating him in decision. But I was just like, he just felt really inconsistent. Like I was
Hmm.
just like the best year, like we just saw the best Uriah all of Ultimate Fighter, and then like as he started out, and then started to taper off. I don't know,
Yeah.
like trying to think, there was gosh, it was the same. I think it was that same division. It was no, I was Darren Till. I was just telling
Darren
somebody
Till.
about this the other
Yeah.
day. I kind of
Oh
like looking
man.
back at it, like he was so huge, so big for England, and it's like I just feel like they rushed him maybe a fight or two
Hmm.
too quick to Woodley.
Well, I think
You know?
that's everybody complains about O'Malley, like I was doing it too, but I think that's a product of Till. They didn't want their next
Yeah,
big guy to beat, I don't know, a Donald Cerrone, and then nothing happened for him. So
they gave him
I think
those
they
extra
learned. Yeah,
three
yeah,
fights.
yeah. Hmm.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, and then you have and you have people like that they're trying to like Ian Gary. They're trying to
Yeah.
get kind of like the
Yep.
same
Same thing.
formula. And they'll start to step it up, but if you do it right, kind of like in boxing that they've done with certain stars,
Yep.
then you can kind of feed that undefeated hype. You can and build them up.
Yeah. I mean, even Patty after this weekend, I mean, he slept Green with that submission, and that's gonna sky. Green might not be, your top five contender, but he's such a household name. He's like a Nate and Nick Diaz type guy where
Hmm.
he's exciting
Hmm.
to watch. And to just watch him shoot that takedown and get choked out, it was
I
so
know.
insane.
It's crazy. I was watching it at a friend's house and I saw him and I was like, I was like, Bobby wants to, win this fight. He's gonna keep his stride. And then as soon as
Yeah.
I said that, he
Yeah.
shoots, and I was like, oh, this isn't what you want to do, Bobby.
No, no.
I was like, wait, wait.
He's one
And
of those guys that like he's one of the ones that I've talked to like in DMs trying to get him on here. But I'll
mm,
tell you right now, if you want him on, be ready to pay because he said he goes, nah, I don't really do podcasts unless it's for money. And I was like, I can appreciate that. You seem like
yeah,
that type, and we'll be in talks at some other time.
I get it.
Super
I get
nice
it.
guy
But
though.
hey, he's a businessman.
Yeah.
You gotta do what you gotta do. And I don't blame any fighter for doing what they gotta do.
Oh,
I just wish
absolutely.
I can hope for one day that they let him like it's just I know the UFC wants to like, make it look like they have a uniform.
Yeah, that's what it is. And it's like,
Wow, that the
can we get rid of
sponsorships,
it?
dude, it's literally like thousands, hundreds of thousands. It's crazy, bro. I just feel like and most other promotions, it's not like that. Like most
No,
other promotions,
no,
they
there's no fight kit. It's just
yeah.
get your sponsors out there, get back. We need to get back to like where everybody looked like the side of a graffiti train. That's logos
You know,
everywhere, sponsors everywhere. Like get me back to that.
the
That
Polish promotions
was
know what's up, and they have like the
yeah, that the
tattoo advert.
tattoos.
Those were I know GSP did a couple of those
Dude,
in the
they're
day. I'm like,
so
dude,
funny.
that's hilarious. Or you see the one like people get sponsored by like Condom Depot.
Yeah,
Dude, that was
yeah, right on the
classic.
ass,
Yeah,
dude. So they always place it in like the best spot. It was
the
never like,
best.
oh, on the thigh. It was always right in the front, right in the back. Condom Depot.
Yeah, it's
So
just one
good.
of those. It's one of those weird UFC things. Like they're just trying to be like the NFL. They're
Yeah.
trying to be synonymous, like a
Hmm.
brand. Um, but yeah, sponsors have always been part of combat sports. It's kind of how it like that's how it's like known that that's how people make their living. It's like a
Yeah.
big chunk of it. So
Yeah.
yeah,
If you're gonna do a uniform, you got to do like a uniform pay at some point. Like you got to and that's an extra expense that they're never gonna do. But like that's what you're taking away from these guys is these sponsorships. Even me, I had a buddy, he's professional. I don't think he fights anymore, but even for me, just to throw like my pod logo on, it was like $200. And I was like, now imagine him at a higher level and he could charge me $2,000 and then charge everybody else. What
mm,
is this about?
oh, we got some meeting time. Interesting.
What the hell? Huh. All right, we can keep talking. We're all right.
Okay.
I don't know
Oh,
what
do you
that's
have to?
about. Guys, we're gonna take a break from this episode so I can talk to you guys about Dubby. What is Dubby? Dubby is a clean energy drink company that will help you power through your day without jitters. Dubby is packed with clean ingredients, free of artificial additives, a lot of stuff that'll help you keep focused and energized. And they also have tubs for hydration. They have shakers if you need a shaker for your powders, whether it be the energy or the hydration tub. And they also have introduced cans so that they can try harder to compete with the big energy drink companies that, you have those in your midday and you might feel crash, you might feel a little bit shaky, whatever it might be. With Dubby, I never experienced that. And I also find myself needing less of a caffeine boost throughout the day. I could make a shaker and it'll get me through a work day and a recording session and more. So right now, W is offering 10% off at checkout if you use promo code Chewin. That is promo code Chewin at w.gg or use the link in the description and use promo code Chewin, Chewin. There's no G on that to save 10% on your order. Say goodbye to jitters and hello to sustained energy. Next, I want to talk about Sticker Mule. Are you a small business owner? Are you looking for high quality merch printing services? Are you looking for stickers, custom labels, Really everything you need to showcase your brand in style. I use Sticker Mule for my label bags, which I would just kind of just throw in stickers from Sticker Mule, honestly. And these stickers right here on the microphone, if you are watching video, it's a little crinkly, but this thing has been on here for probably close to a year now and has not come off. Very high quality, very fast. They send you a proof of everything they're doing to make sure you're happy with the product before they ship it. And if you do have any questions, concerns, they have a great customer service team that works with you. And they are also a small local business in my area. So we try to support them as much as we can. And right now, if you go to stickermule.com, link in the description, if you use that link specifically, you will save $10 on your order just by signing up with Sticker Mule through that link. Again, link in the description. Please click that, use the referral code, and you will save $10 on your order with Sticker Mule, making an inexpensive product even less expensive. Last but not least, I would like to welcome New Recover to the pod and thank them for endorsing and sponsoring the podcast. Are you looking to take your recovery to the next level? New Recover it's your one-stop shop for in-home saunas, cold plunges, and more. Literally, I used the cold plunge the other day, and it looks weird, It's just it was super easy. It takes about 5 minutes to set up, and you're like, okay, well, how sturdy is this thing? I'm a larger guy. I don't know if you could tell from this angle, but I'm shorter and just a big dude. I'm over 230, and I can get in this thing, head underwater. You kind of just lift your knees up a little bit. It looks super awkward, but it's actually very comfortable, and it's not what I expected at all. When I first opened this thing, I was like, there's no way. It's way too small. I'm going to be too big for this. It's going to be uncomfortable. Got right in, did 3 minutes, and they ship with, you have options. They have a sauna package that comes with a sauna and cold plunge. You can also get a chiller for your cold plunge. You can just do the bags of ice in the cold plunge. Mine specifically, I didn't do the chiller, but it did still come with a thermometer, a pillow, and everything else. And right now, if you go to New Recover, link in the description, and you use Chewin at checkout, same exact thing, Chewin, you will save 20% on your order. Again, Chewin at checkout, save 20% on your order. Don't let sore muscles slow you down. Invest in your recovery with New Recover today. If you guys are enjoying the pod show, please be sure to go to chewintheragpodcast.com. That has all of our platform links. Wherever you can find the podcast or wherever you listen to podcasts are there. We also have a merch store. You can see old podcast clips. We're constantly updating it. Our Discord should be in there as well, which you can join. We've got gaming clips hopefully coming soon because we are branching out and kind of just doing a whole entertainment thing under Chewin the Rag umbrella. So if you go to chewintheragpodcast.com, please like, rate, subscribe, share all the fun stuff to help out the pod show. And let's get back to it.
Has to like reset or something, or yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. That's weird. But
we'll just keep going, and then if we have to reset it, like we'll just pick up where we
yeah.
left off.
Yeah, no big deal. But
Yeah, Zoom is weird. Another, hey, everyone's trying to make their money, man.
yeah, that's exactly it. Oh, we're gonna end your meeting. I'm doing something.
Yeah, we're kind of busy here, man.
Well, I think
Yeah.
it's their pro thing, I guess. I don't know. Ignore
Mm,
that. But going back to the Bilal thing, and we're just talking about him. He was somebody that I was super happy for. And
mm.
that the first thing any champ can do when they first get their belt to turn me off is say, "All right, I want DDP. I want to move up." And it's like, can we just get one defense
Oh, did he
at
say
least?
that?
Yeah. I
Oh
think
my
I
gosh.
think afterwards he did say Shavkat or somebody in his division, but he did mention like, "Oh, DDP was talking." I would like a shot at him, and it's like, no, damn it,
No, dude.
this
Yeah,
new
exactly.
era.
It's so crazy, and it goes back to that. It's like that, once you become champion, like I was telling people, talking to my stream about it.
Mhm.
Um, it's like once you become champion of the UFC, for most people, like Bilal, like when you've worked your whole career and you've had ups and downs, and you finally get it, like you want to cash in, you want
Yeah.
big fights, you want sponsor, you want everything, and you want to be the champ for a while. So it's like, everyone's gonna immediately be like, yeah, double champ fight, and then I can come back to this later. And it's like, eh,
It's just
as a purist, as like someone who wants to see like the sport pan out, um,
we're good.
oh, dude, hell
I
yeah.
took care of
Oh, thank you,
it.
dude.
We're good.
Seamless now. Let's go.
uh
Um, yeah, for someone like yeah, like Bilal, I guess, but as a purist, I'm like, nah, man. I want to see you fight Shavkat. I want to see,
yeah.
Usman maybe.
JDM's over there.
Yeah,
Like
there's some options.
it would be nice in my like matchmaker brain that I don't have if we could get like
Mm.
a title eliminator, give me Shavkat, JDM, they could fight
Ooh.
Bilal, and then the loser could fight Usman, and that guy could be up there. Like, there's so many options there where it's like, why
Yes.
why are you talking about Drickus and Izzy? And it's like, come on, dude.
Yeah,
Please.
and it's interesting. Like they're kind of moving people across, and I think I think it has to do with like injuries too. Like when people get hurt,
Yeah.
because this is the other hardest thing about MMA is like
Hmm.
injuries are just inevitable. Um, like I think JDM hurt, didn't he hurt his arm in
He
his
got
last fight?
hurt. Yeah, yeah, he
Yeah,
got
so he
injured.
hurt something, and then I see Kevin Holland is fighting Chris Curtis
Is
at UFC 308, and
did
so
that? Yeah,
they have him at like 170 and 185,
yeah. It's
and I'm
like,
like, what is going on now? And then so there's like certain guys that when they're a contender, they stay it that way, but I kind of
yeah,
see them move some, and it's short notice fights too and stuff like that. But yeah, I would like to see something like you suggested with like just the contenders kind of
just
title
something.
eliminatory
Yeah,
thing. Yeah.
yeah. If it's too many names, have them fight each other. Then at that point, like
Mhm.
Bilal,
Exactly.
you've sat out before, not your fault because they couldn't match you up. Sit out just another like 6 months, get healthy, let these guys battle it out, and then just fight the
Exactly.
winner. But we'll see. We'll see. I don't think they're gonna go for him moving up to 185 anyway, so I don't think we have to worry about
Mm.
it. But it was just like one of those things where it's like, damn it, Bilal, like,
Yeah, you're like, no,
give
no,
me at
you're
least
supposed to.
one defense,
Yeah,
please.
please, just one. It was
And
like Matt
it's that,
Hughes. Even Matt Hughes was like a true champion defends his title at least
yeah,
once. Like me and
yeah,
my homies are always like, bro, just go back to that. Just go
yeah.
back to like old school, man. Just defend that shit at least once.
It's the
Um,
same thing with like boxing. Sean O'Malley gets his belt, and he's like, I would love to go to boxing. It's like, come on, like he's defended it since then, but still, just why is it the first? Let's just one defense. I just asked for one, maybe two, and
yeah.
then go make your money doing something else for a one
Yeah,
off.
definitely. And I just the thing about MMA fighters going to boxing is
It's
it's a very short-lived story, man.
yeah,
Like it's not we haven't seen somebody go into boxing and become a successful boxer from MMA. It's
no,
like it's always like once they're done in MMA, and then it's like it doesn't look good, man. And even someone like Mike Perry, who was really
yeah,
good at bare knuckle, it's like just looked so bad in regular
yeah,
boxing.
just didn't look good. Yeah,
And it a couple of my friends saying it didn't look like he trained like actual boxing footwork. Like he was just kind of like standing
yeah,
and throwing like you
like
could
what
get
he,
away with.
yeah, like what he knows. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can
And
see
so
that.
yeah, so it's yeah, O'Malley should definitely I would say just you milk the UFC for as long as you can because that he's actually in a good spot to where they
Yeah,
want
he's
to
one of
promote
their
him.
guys. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Um, like but oh my gosh, like with Francis, man,
yeah.
seeing Francis go down against Joshua, like the fight against Fury was awesome, but then man,
Did you hear?
Joshua won.
Did you hear the story about the Anthony Joshua? He was on Joe Rogan recently,
I did listen to that. So it
like
was a
they would just,
weird
yeah, they just had him up like all night pretty much, and he's like slumped in a chair, and then they're like, all right, fight time, and it's like, dude, come on, man.
dude.
And I'm
That's
not
yeah.
saying, I mean, I don't think Joshua needs that. He's a very good heavyweight boxer, obviously. But it did look weird seeing Francis versus Fury and like how crisp he looked and how well he did in a lot of that fight. And then he went to Joshua and he was just constantly getting sat down. It's like maybe he really was just super fatigued and no
Super fatigued.
excuses, but it sounded like they were giving him the runaround a lot.
I think you're right. And it's interesting because like, man, I think some of the same kind of thing happened with the 3 a.m. fight times.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, I think, people were saying Leon looked tired. Leon looked like he wanted to take a nap on the
yeah.
stool. And I was like, bro, who want like it just we're designed to be up with the sun. It's just thought it was really
Mhm.
crazy to like because you ask any night shift worker how their sleep is, they're like,
Yeah.
dude, what sleep?
Yeah,
Like
what,
it's
don't talk to me about sleep.
yeah, like a lucky if you get used to it, you're lucky to get like a sleep cycle, right? And so a fighter who has to be really dialed in, really physically
Hmm.
fit, the sleep is like 30 to 40% of like how you recover, all that stuff. So on a fight night, I could only imagine that shit sucks. And so
Yeah.
for Francis, same thing. They get you up at 12 or 1, and then all of a sudden you're just like, and it's
Yeah.
like that might not be the sole reason, like, but you're going against the best boxer at that weight
All
class, pretty
right.
much,
Yeah,
the
you're
one
in
of
the
the best.
arena for 4 hours before he even gets there. He's been in his hotel or wherever he is, just relaxing, feet up, and you're like trying to get in boxing mode because the moment you're in that arena, it's like soon enough I'm making that walk, and then 3 hours go by, and you're like, soon enough I'm making that
Yeah,
walk,
that's
and it's like
insane.
when he was telling that story, I was like, God damn, like
Yeah, man. Yeah, they definitely didn't help him with any of
no,
that. Um, and so yeah, like I feel like MMA and boxing, like you can have these crossovers. You might make some money. Like I know
yeah,
McGregor made a ton of money with
yeah,
Floyd, but
that's what really kicked it off with him. It's just like,
yeah,
I mean,
that was the one there.
he had his UFC money, and then it was like, now how do I triple this, quadruple this, and then it just grew
Crazy.
from that. But the
Yeah.
Leon thing doesn't make sense because they were in his backyard and they still accommodated us as if New England doesn't stay up until 4 a.m. for them all the time.
I know.
It's
I
like,
was like,
damn, guys can do one solid for
I
you.
felt so bad. I get a lot of UK people in like my lives, and
Yeah.
they'll be like, "Bro, we always stay up, and now they're making us stay up." And I was like, "Dude, yeah, this is terrible." Like I was
It's
like,
so
they just
bad.
to accommodate North America. I was
They
like, this,
said so at the post fight conference, they were like, "Oh, did Leon?" They were saying fatigue. It's 3 a.m. and he goes, "Well, it's 7 p.m. in Vegas." And he goes, "Okay, like we're not in Vegas, dude." Like,
so crazy. Yeah, I think that yeah, that's definitely shows where Dana's priorities are pretty
yeah,
much.
yeah,
And it's so rough, dude. I hope Leon can kind of correct it because yeah, man, for what it is, and it's interesting, man. It's so interesting because you go to the Abu Dhabi cards, and then we
yeah,
definitely accommodate those cards.
yeah. But
So I
like
was like,
the UK, nah, we can't do it for you
I can't do it.
guys.
Ah, man. So
And
yeah, I
it's
felt bad for Leon on that. Um, I know Aspinall and Patty were able to still like
yeah,
deliver.
they
Some people
still,
were still able to, but yeah, some people really suffered from that timing. I think there was one guy who was short notice. Like, how do you
yeah,
prepare for that?
you
You
really
know?
can't. And if you're a champ, like Leon, especially, like he's a champ,
Mm,
this is his waters, and you're still like, I don't know. It definitely was a little bit of a slap in the face for like, why would I want to defend my belt at home when I could just go to Vegas and fight on the schedule I'm used to, I guess. Like,
yeah,
super
interesting.
insane.
It's wild, and yeah, and like someone like Leon is that's where someone like him kind of pays for it because he chooses to
Right.
be in England. He chooses to fight out of
Yeah.
there and be
Yeah.
local and all that. And then yeah, we're fighting at 3 a.m. local time. Like just, yeah,
So crazy.
that was a crazy move for the fight time, but we'll see. Like I think Leon, like, what do you think? Do you think he deserves like a rematch after a win, or what does he have to do? Like,
Yeah, I think it'll depend. I would definitely, I don't think instant rematch for sure, even though,
because he
what a,
fought what? He rematched Usman, and
yep.
then
And
who
then
did
that
he?
was, I think, did he have one more?
I'm feeling like
I think we're missing somebody.
yeah. Let's just see. It was a decision if it was somebody else. Um.
Who the hell?
Oh, it was Colby. Okay.
Kobe. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. So yeah, so he had two defenses, which is pretty good. Three fights since getting the belt, two defenses, one loss. I mean, if you give him a top guy and he beats him,
I
but
think. that yeah, that makes the most sense to me. It's not like Izzy, where Izzy was the champ for like six or
Yeah,
seven fights.
you don't give him an instant rematch for sure, I don't think, in my
Yeah,
opinion. But
yeah,
I don't know. It's definitely a lot of interesting things they could do with that division.
mm,
Heavyweight, John Jones and Stipe are just kind of holding that whole thing up. Like, like
yeah, man.
Aspinall's like, dude, can I just get a belt? Like, just
At this
give me the
point,
belt. Let these guys
he-
still fight. I don't care. But he's like, and then he wanted Pereira, and Dana's like, no, Alex is looking really good at his weight class. Why would we? It's like, well, Pereira the type to go up and fight Aspinall if he wants to. So
yeah,
like, and if
it's
that happens, how do you not make that for the belt?
of
Like,
course, yeah. There's just so
there's
many good prime options right there being held up by Jones.
yeah, that's
It's
exactly.
and I like, I mean, I respect John Jones and like
Oh yeah,
by
you
far the
have to at
greatest
this point.
resume. Have to, but man, this is the twilight end of his career.
All right.
Like this is, this is like, and yeah, he delivered against Cyril Gahn, but Cyril Gahn, man, that it was obvious like there's just no
No,
ground game there.
nothing.
And so a guy like Aspinall to me presents a lot more danger
I think so.
for somebody like Jones. And yeah, he's just kind of going for like, no, I want the big fight.
Yes.
Like and Steep, it's just as time goes on, it gets more stale. That's the thing
Yeah,
about
that's
those two
it's
guys.
not as exciting as it was when it first got announced, and then the injury happened, and it's like, so now how do I get excited? Because they're both only getting older. Like, and then you have
Exactly.
guys like Aspinall who are doing, even I think Blades against Jones would look better than Gon did. Like, so Aspinall's
Mm,
fighting these guys who are good fighters, and he's just not getting that you're the champ status because of one
yeah.
guy.
I think a lot of it is that they're trying to just keep Jones as big of a name
That's
as
what it is.
possible.
Yeah, of course.
And yeah, I to me, like as a purist and someone who's been watching this, it's hard for me not to see Aspinall as like the
Yeah,
true heavyweight
yeah,
champ.
100%. I agree.
Like he took out Pavlovich. He took out
Like,
dude, who takes out Pavlovich? That is crazy. I was like, that was crazy enough. And then he knocks out Blades, and then he had another one recently too.
yeah, Ripa.
Chigura,
Yeah, yeah. Like,
and he's
how do
by
you?
far the
He's
best.
active. He's winning. Like, I don't get it. I don't, and it's hard because I know he's frustrated. Why wouldn't you be at this point? It's like, dude, I just want to be champ. That's why I
I
got into
know.
this. That's why
Yeah.
most of these guys, if not all of them, get into this. And
But the thing is, I think Aspinall is in the best position because how old is he? He is
he's
31.
yeah, he's young. He's
He's
you
got a few
know,
more years at the top, man.
yeah,
And
especially heavyweights. Yeah,
heavyweights can
yeah.
go a little, yeah, like they can go a little longer, especially if you just like, a bunch of first round finishes, like you can go
Yeah.
for a while. So, Jones is like, yeah, it's not his options are like one or two options here. Like Aspinall can like let things play out. And he has. Like after he got injured, I was just happy to see that he's just like, okay, I'll just
Yeah, just let
let this
it.
play out, come back, have a good W, and then yeah, man. So
Yeah. I don't
yeah,
I don't know.
it,
It'll be interesting. It'll be
yeah,
interesting for sure.
there's a lot to do with that,
He's
but
got the
it's
leverage, you
and
know.
like you touched on Alex, like
Dude,
the
that's
freaking sky's the limit with him. Just
there was jokes and like memes where it was like, oh, he's speed running like a Hall of Fame run. And
yeah,
it's like, no, it's not even a meme anymore. Like now he's just doing it.
he really is
Like
like
if he could go up, if they did say, you know what, Aspinall versus Alex for the belt, you're looking at 185, 205 if he beats Aspinall heavyweight, like and top guys at that point that is beat. It's instant Hall of Fame.
instant. I think they showed. Oh man, there was a crazy stat they showed of the combined records of all his opponents in
Yeah.
MMA.
Yeah.
Like that was the one I was like, dude, you have to look at that and just say, holy shit. And Glover just brought him to the
Yeah.
next level. It's
Yeah.
just that was so good that he ran into him as
That
his
was like
coach because
the best thing that could happen for him.
I'm sure, like I'm 100% like they probably have Alex training a lot of wrestling and grappling and
Hmm.
BJJ. And because they're like, dude, you'll knock everybody out. We'll do the
Yeah.
drills. We'll help you do like keep limber, but like
Yeah, yeah.
we just gotta build up your ground game so that if it does, and like it happened against I think against Blakovic, uh
Yeah.
got taken out, he would just stay there. He would just
hmm
stay like
Just was
safe.
very calm, very just, I'm not going to put myself in danger. And that's what everybody thinks they're going to do. They're like, oh, well, no, he hasn't really been challenged on the ground. It's like,
Yeah,
but you
Aspinall was like,
can't.
I'm gonna just rugby tackle him.
Yeah, it's like,
I was
I
like,
have to get
shit.
him down. And it's smart because you're an idiot if you think I'm going to stand here and prove something. That's what Hill tried to do. And like, it's not worth it at that point. Not against
Yeah,
somebody
man.
like that. But for you, so the way we found each other really is I play a lot of UFC 5 and whatnot, and you came
Uh-huh.
in my algorithm, UFC 5
Oh,
streams.
nice.
And
Awesome.
yeah, I've been following you, I think for maybe over a year now, close to.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
And
Thank you for that.
yeah, of course. But like, so how many days a week are you uh training jujitsu? And then how do you find time? Because you're doing multiple hours at a time, streaming and stuff too. Is this your full time gig? Are you doing anything with this, or is it just you just stream?
Yeah, so for right now, so it's been interesting. So I had jobs where I would work like 24 to 30 hours a week
Yeah.
for the past few years. And so we work around that. Um this year I was looking to switch to work in the tech industry, and so
Okay.
I stopped working a few months ago. I've worked like some freelance some like internships here and there. I haven't gotten anything full time yet, so I just have more time to
Yeah.
stream and stuff. I also I only train jujitsu maybe once or twice a week these days.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm not like in competition shape or anything like that right
Yeah.
now. But I go, I work my technique, I do my best. I still stay in shape, doing other stuff. And so for right now, I do a lot of my work here at home, and I work also doing like little ad videos for my gym that I
Oh, okay.
train at.
Okay.
Yeah, so I work for my coach, and so that takes up a chunk of time. But the streams themselves, I just like to do a block of time. So if I like, okay, so if I want to stream today, I want to go 2 hours today, or I want to go three
Hmm.
hours. I know some people go really long. And if you're
Yeah.
trying to build from scratch, I would say it is worth it to have a couple days where you have like maybe 6 hours, maybe like some people go extraordinarily long. I can't
Yeah.
recommend like I've done
Yeah.
that before,
It's
but
tough.
it's tough. It's tough
It's
on your
tough.
brain. It's just yeah, it takes energy. It takes energy like anything else. So you could wear you out, it could burn you out, and you don't want to do it. So I for me when I first started out, it was during COVID, obviously. I had a lot of time back then, so I would do
Yeah.
long streams. But now if I'm like, okay, um, and what happens with the algorithm is if you start to get consistent with with the time that you stream. So let's say I'm like, okay, I want to stream on the weekends because I do a lot of my work in the first half of the week. And so if I want to stream Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'll do a 2 to like a 3 hour chunk.
Okay.
And maybe it'll work out to where I can do it early in the day or maybe in the middle or maybe but I just set aside a chunk, and once I go live, I stay live, and then I end it off. And I feel like if you do a consistent schedule, the algorithm will kind of help you out. So like
That makes
the first
sense.
hour will have like a lot of growth, and then you'll have like a dip, and then more people will start to show up. So it's interesting, but it's about like how often your content pops up on certain days, right? And
Huh.
certain
Okay.
times. So
Okay.
for someone who streams, like if you're first getting into it, like stream as much, practice as much as you can, because
Yeah.
it's a weird animal, right?
Hmm.
And it's like it's weird. You're gonna have trolls. I would say like
Yeah.
it's good to train yourself to deal with trolls, and like because even today I like it might even be randoms that like or someone that doesn't like you from back when or something like that will pop up and say some out of pocket stuff. You just gotta like, all right, click block, all right, move on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um there's like dealing with hardware stuff or like software stuff that you gotta hammer out, and it's just so I would say like learning how to set it up and run it is most of the time, but just get it if you have a day where like for me, like I'm trying to stream UFC this morning. I just hopped on. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go
Eh,
8 to 10
Yeah.
and just yeah, it flies by. It flies by because of the combo of like interacting with chat and
Yeah.
playing my games. Um, so yeah, it kind of takes care of itself in that regard. I just want to set like a time like an ending because it is really easy to go for super long time.
Yeah, you just get carried away with it.
Hmm
100%. I get
But
that.
yeah, man, and it is fun. But like the podcast, the most valuable thing to do is like get your big moments, clip them. That's something I've been slacking on recently, just because lot of stuff's been going on recently. But yeah, it's like that's the most valuable part of the streams. Like, okay, even if it's just an hour, like if you want to hop on and just stream an hour and then you get like a knockout or something, that's
Yep.
an instant
There's a clip.
clip right there. And
Mm.
so, yeah, I've been streaming UFC for like pretty much since I've been streaming on like Twitch and stuff. So like 4 years. So I started with UFC 3 and then 4 came out and then 5 came out last year. So,
Yeah, I found you on 4. That's when I found you.
oh, nice.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
man. That was and 4 was really good. 4 was
Really
like
good.
I don't know. There was just certain things they did right, and I don't know why they took out. Like there was like or maybe I'm thinking of 3 to 4. I think I think something just
Trying to
lagged.
think.
I think
3.
I'm getting some lag here, bro.
Oh, yeah, you're frozen. I can hear you. There you are.
Oh, okay, cool. We're back.
Yeah, I'm getting a little bit of lag too. Should be good, I think.
Okay, cool. But yeah, with streaming, yeah, it helps to have a game that you're consistent with. But I've been streaming different games recently too, just to mix it up.
Yeah, yeah, I've saw a lot of Fallout recently, it looks like.
Yeah, Fallout.
NCAA, which I've been getting into a little bit. That's been super fun actually.
Nice, dude. Are you like big into football at all, or how do you feel about football?
Yeah, yeah. So not so much. I got into college ball last year.
Nice,
I'm an NFL guy, but
nice.
so I don't really have a college team, which I think I liked more because I was just watching football for the sake of football.
I
like,
feel that. Yeah,
like
I'm more of an NFL guy
NFL,
too. So
yeah,
college, I'm
NFL
still
I'm
getting into.
invested, but like because Dallas, I had the Dallas hat.
Oh, there you go.
Like that's the team I'm invested in, but college it was just like I'm just watching teams. Like I don't care who wins,
Mhm.
just I just want a game now.
Yeah, pretty
So I
much. I
like
think
that a lot.
that's the fun part about college. It's there's always games on, and they're
Always.
all there's a lot of exciting. Like it's a wider skill pool, so there's a
Hmm
lot of big plays, a lot of crazy stuff happens, and I'm like, I'm here for that. And you're not too
Yeah.
invested. You don't get mad if your
Nope.
fantasies like losing or anything like that. That can get rough. I think I'll probably get back into fantasy maybe next year, but I took a break because I was just
Yeah.
it's either I'm like all in and then I lose some money, or I just don't have enough time to actually check it. Like I'll draft my
Yeah.
team and like you get hyped when you draft and then you kind of fall off.
Yeah. You got an
Oh,
injured guy in, you got a guy who's not even like playing the rest of the year.
yeah, that's
I didn't
brutal.
do fantasy the past 2 years. I don't think I'll do it again this year, but same thing. Just like I was forgetting to set lineups. I was
Yeah.
just nonsense things. That's like, and then you get to a point where it's like all of these guys control my day. Like
Yeah.
a guy drops something, and you're like, all right, well there goes all my money. That guy couldn't catch a fucking ball. It's
Yeah.
like,
It's so stressful, man. And then you're just like you feel like the coach. You're just like, dude, like
yeah,
you're on this
yeah.
team. I need you to perform.
You have one job as a receiver. I tell my
Straight
son
up.
that. So if I'm like playing college ball, if he comes in, he's 4, he'll be 5 in October.
Oh, nice.
If he comes in and like one of my guys drops the ball, look at him. I'm like, if you ever become a wide receiver, you have one job, and it's to hold on to any ball that hits your hands. And then I'll ask him like, "What's your job as a receiver?" He's like, "I don't know." I'm like, "All right, go play." Like,
That's
just
funny.
forget everything I just told you. I guess all good.
You're like one day, I'll have to
Yeah,
teach you on Madden or
yeah,
something. Yeah, I feel like it's funny because like yeah, I definitely got into football when I was little because like my folks were all into it,
oh, okay,
and it's just so hard to understand the X's and O's when you're young, like when you
yeah,
get into it. But then I played in high school, and just a little bit. Like my last couple years, I was a freaking bench warmer. I played a little bit
Yeah,
here and there, but it was just because I
yeah,
was like undersized as a lineman.
yeah. That's what they,
And
dude. I swear that's where they want to put the undersized kids.
dude,
They
that's
did that to me, and I was like, dude, I can't play that. I'm gonna get wrecked. Like,
yeah,
I was not like I'm a big guy now, but like growing up, I was not. I was very scrawny,
yeah,
and
I
they
feel
were like,
that.
"Oh yeah, left tackle," and I'm like, dude, I'm gonna get our quarterback killed. Like that's not
Yeah,
gonna work for me.
yeah. I helped out a lot on the practice squad, and it was fun though. It was a fun experience. It helped me understand it more. So now, like, I can actually watch NFL in
Yeah.
college. I'll be like, oh, I understand this shit now. It's
Hmm.
actually so it's kind of like fighting. You just like you understand, like, because if people that don't understand a certain sport or anything, like, dude, I don't know what's going on in football, and it's just like it's a lot. It's a
Yeah,
lot. But like once
it
you get
is.
invested, it's
Especially the thing that I like about football is a lot of the times they're not using like in MMA, the terminology is like what you're doing. But in
Mm.
football, they could just be like send the blitz, and you know that that means they're coming in. But then if they start like, so he blitzed the A gap, and that's when people are like, what the fuck is the A gap? And
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
that's when
There's
you
like
start
this.
losing people. Once you get
You
into like
do.
the intricacies of it, that's when people are like, I'm out. I don't know what the hell you're talking about now.
Yeah.
You lost me.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like a language at a certain
It
point,
is.
and I feel the same way whenever like UK or European anywhere else in the world
Oh
basically
yeah.
with their football. And I
Yeah.
try to give them respect.
Dude.
I don't call it soccer,
Yeah.
but yeah, man, it's like they start talking about like certain positions. Once they talk about positions
Dude, I'm
and the certain
lost.
parts
I'm
of the
lost.
field, I'm like
I'm done.
lost. I'm like, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the
Offside,
goalie, I know the goalie. I can do
they have an
that.
offsides penalty. I'm like, I know that's kind of yeah, that kind
Yeah.
of makes it's kind of the same thing. You went before, and they're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
feel like our offside, it's like the guy was offside. Like he was just lined up where he shouldn't be. Their offside is like you had momentum and you cross before somebody.
yeah,
You have to like let
and everyone's
somebody.
running.
Yeah,
Everyone's already
like
running still, and it's very yeah.
like
That's a
I
very
don't.
weird one.
I've played FIFA and I'm like, this is I can't do it. Like it's fun.
Yeah,
I can't do it.
I
Like
played FIFA. I liked using like the most overpowered teams,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
like and just having like a good time with it. I've tried the career mode once, and then I remember I was sprinting everywhere with my character, and I guess
Mhm.
it's soccer. You're supposed to pace yourself. You're not supposed to sprint everywhere. But I was just,
Yeah.
and then at the end of the game, I see him stumble, and it's like you've torn your Achilles, and you're out for the season. I'm like, dude, it's like the clips you see in NCAA now. You
Yeah,
just,
yeah,
it was
dude.
brutal. I was like, and then like. I had to click through all the weeks and it's just red. It's just injured,
Yeah,
injured, and I was like, I'm good. I'm good
and
after
it
this.
makes you and it like there's no just advanced to end. It's making you watch like next advanced week, and it's like, dude, I know I can't play. This
Because
sucks. Like,
people take it seriously, and there's not just FIFA, there's like football manager games. There's
yeah,
like people
yeah.
really take it really seriously. So I'm like, I get it, but yeah, I'll stick to our
Dude,
football.
I have a buddy who's like his biggest gripe with NCAA. He's like really pissed off about this. That there's not a coach mode where he can just coach and build a team and then just watch them play all season. I'm like, you don't want to play? He goes,
You know what?
no, why wouldn't they add that? And I'm like, because you're the only person in the world that wants to watch simulated football.
That's so
Like,
funny.
that's why they didn't add that, dude.
That's
He's like, why can't I just scout and recruit and watch my team? I'm like, just build a fantasy team. What are you doing?
yeah, pretty much.
Like,
Just wants to have like infinite
it's
games. He's
so
like,
yeah.
yeah, I did this. I'm just
He's
gonna
like,
watch this
that's what he
play out.
wants. He wants like a clipboard. He's just like, my guy's doing it now.
They
It's
had a
like,
coach. I think they had like a NFL coach game, or they had
they
something like
had
that.
some, they did have something. I don't know
And
exactly what it was. I never,
or owner. It was either coach or owner or something like
but
that.
like, dude, that was so funny that like, of all the complaints you could have, it's that they're making you play the game. Like, dude,
Making you
I don't,
play.
what the hell
Yeah.
do you want me to tell you?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think in the old Maddens too that they did have that.
They
So I
probably
think he
did. Yeah.
probably missed it. Like they probably just actually played
Uh,
that because yeah, if you select coach, I remember I played it one time. It was a franchise. You could like go I don't know if it was franchise or the other mode where you just, you select your player and you can
Yeah,
control them.
yeah,
You could also do coach mode and you're just watching it play
dude,
out.
that's so funny.
And so I
Like,
was like, bro, but then I was the opposite. I was like, dude, I need to play. What the
yeah,
fuck?
I don't.
So
What do you mean? I have a controller. Like, I'm not using it to do anything.
that's that's a testament to like gaming, like how many
Yeah.
different types of games,
Hmm.
like and how much that people like. Like I remember one of the first games I played that I never got into again because I'm just not like a strategy type of guy, but Age of Empires,
Yeah. Yeah.
that game where you're just like you just build like a little hut and you see them
Yeah.
build like a couple things and they start building up and it's satisfying, but I don't have the patience for it
No,
anymore.
I I liked like Civ Revolution. I like
Mhm.
that. I used to play like the old Command and Conquer games where it was kind of like that. You build up your base and this point, click, go. But like for the most part, the modern ones I can't do. They're so, and the people that do play it are
Cartoony, right?
so damn good at it. And it's just this cartoon
Mm.
barbarian is just beating the shit out of you. And it's like, I can't do it, dude. This is too much.
That's funny. Yeah, I feel like I like one-on-one games. Like either like just interact like first person or just like um kind of like fighting games. Like I don't know
Yeah.
if you've seen Hellish Court. I streamed it like maybe once or twice
I'm trying to think.
in
I'm
the
not
past
sure.
couple weeks. Yeah, I haven't streamed it a lot recently, but it's on Steam and it's just all like fencing. Like you're just
Oh,
fighting.
really?
And it's like hyper realistic. It's
Oh,
like
no shit.
you if you hit somebody's wrist or their shoulders, and then it's made by two people. It's like
Oh,
literally
really?
the develop yeah, it's like a
Wow.
small developer team in Poland and it's just like I was saying, there's just like so many little niche like type of games for
Yeah.
people. It's just so cool. Like there's pretty much anything out there for anyone. And yeah, I've been trying to explore that more because like fighting is good. I just feel like it's one of those things. Once I hit like it's like I watch UFC 300 all the way through. I'm like, all right, I need a
Mhm.
break from
Yeah.
violence now.
That's what it is. Like, let me do something else.
Yeah,
But
it's
like,
great. It's like stimulating, but yeah, there's times for like the chill stuff too.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I do. I like a lot of, either one-on-one or team, a couple shooters.
Mm,
I like story, but I don't really like to stream story. I have a hard time with because it's boring. Like a lot of the time, if it's like an RPG where it's
yeah.
just running and talking, no, I wouldn't even say like Fallout. There's a lot of action still, but a lot of like choice-based games and stuff. I feel like
Mm,
it's just not that interesting.
yeah.
I'm trying to get. I used to stream separately from the pod, but I think I'm trying to do it all under one umbrella here.
Mm.
So I've been slowly getting into streaming, and I'm trying to figure out like what it is that I want to stream.
Do you stream to your other channel right now?
I used
Oh,
to
okay.
stream to like Pinchworm Gaming or something like, but now it's right on YouTube. I do just Chewing the Rag, and I have like a playlist for live streams. I'm
Okay. So
doing
you go straight to YouTube for the
yeah,
live stream?
yeah,
Okay.
for now. We're I actually just partnered with a local MMA um promotion in my area,
Oh, nice, dude.
and I'll be doing on November 1st, like a fight companion type thing. I don't know what I want to name it because fight
Oh,
companion is such
nice.
like a played out thing. But yeah, I'll have it on here and I'll just do like commentary and I'll have somebody here with me. I'm looking forward to that. We're just trying
Nice, dude.
different shit for the channel. So it'll be a
Nice.
podcast and then just entertainment.
Yeah, dude. That's good. It's good to branch it out, man, because
Yeah.
yeah, it I just dropped the sub for you right now too.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, dude. It's just so much out there and it's just like at the end of the day I feel like it's just good to explore, man. It's just good to explore like the stuff
Hmm.
that that you enjoy and that it just comes naturally for you to be entertaining, like
Yeah, I think that's what it
because
comes down to.
there's a lot on social media kind of like just pulls to like just like adapt like personality or just do like trends and stuff like that. Like to an extent, like little trends like like a little format for your video are cool, but I was just always like, nah, I'm just gonna do my thing. I'm
Yeah,
not really gonna.
that's exactly what it comes down to. I like other people's thing. Like I love it. I'll watch your thing,
Oh yeah,
but
of course.
I can't. My thing is I can't do that. Like, I know
Yeah,
my
yeah, yeah.
limits. I know what I could do, what I could recreate and not create. And what you're doing is like, no, I'm good. I'll just stay in my lane.
Exactly.
I'll do
Like
what I'm good at.
example for me, a good perfect example is like people have asked me like, "Hey, would you ever do that NPC stream?" I was like,
Oh,
"No."
nope. No,
They're
I'm
like, "Don't
good.
you want to make money on TikTok?" I'm like, "Well, money's nice, but I'd rather like like my life and
Yeah, I
like
can't do,
existing on
dude.
camera."
Yeah,
Whew.
no, I don't want any part of, dude. The first time that popped up, I was like, what is this? And
Yeah,
then
it's
it was like a woman. And then after that, she accidentally popped up and it just ruined my algorithm for like a month because that's all that would come up. I'm like, I didn't want to watch her. She just popped
yeah.
up. I was like, I was just confused. And now
There
you
was
think I like it.
I saw one. There was like a Spider-Man. It was like there was like 4 or 5 different Spider-Mans at one point.
Yeah.
And and then like you said, ruins your algorithm. And then I got the French dude. He was like a French guy with a Nerf gun, and he
Oh
would like have his
God.
butt sticking. He would just be like, "I need more bullets," and I was like, "This is literal. Like
Yeah.
I feel like I'm watching the world, bro.
I,
Like just people doing." It's weird. So then I'm like, yeah, like I get it. If you're trying to make money, if that's your job, that's cool. Again, couldn't be me.
it's not
It,
for me. There's just some things I can't. My buddy wants me to do like reaction videos, and like I could, but I don't have it in me. Like
mm,
I'm not this fake excited guy. Like my level of excitement on a scale of 1 to 10, I could get to like a 6. If I'm at a
mm.
10, you're like, this guy's faking it for sure. Like I'm
Yeah, man,
very calm.
I get it. Yeah, I'm the same way. Like with reactions, like MMA, like knockouts will get me to scream.
Yeah,
Maybe my games, but like, yeah, like whenever I'm watching like a video or like people talking or like something that happened, like
yeah.
90% of the time I'm just stone faced.
That's
Like I'm
what
just
it
like, oh.
like if you send me some, I'll be like, oh, like there you go. That's a whole video. You're not gonna get anything like more than that.
I know a
I
guy.
don't have it.
Now what I went to high school with, and his whole page is like reactions to like people like hip like rappers and like artists dropping songs and like
Okay.
just people like just music reactions and stuff, and he'll
Yeah.
be like all animated and this and that, but that's that guy,
Yeah,
like
that's
he loves
him.
to talk to
Like
people and be all crazy and make people laugh. Like if you could do that, that's good, but it's just like if it's effort to like extend yourself to do that,
yeah,
you got
yeah,
to watch out. You don't want to burn
yeah.
that. I'm just like all about trying to avoid the burnout with it because
That's exactly it. That's
yeah.
why I think it was easy for me to kind of try to do everything under one umbrella because
Hmm.
making sure, oh, I'm logged into the gaming channel and then logged it here, and then I'll do like 3 hours of gaming, and then I have a pod 2 hours from now. And it's like if I do it all under one umbrella, it doesn't. I'm still in my little chewing the rag bubble here, like,
Yeah, it
and it
makes it
feels,
easier.
yeah, it definitely does.
Yeah, man. And oh, that's good though, dude. And yeah, I feel like gaming streams and like yeah, it's good to have it under one channel just so people could find your stuff.
That's the thing. Yeah, it gets weird when you're like, if you guys like the pod, subscribe to this other channel. It's like, why? It's like,
Yeah,
we can just
it's
subscribe here and see you. And it's like, good point. I'll just put it all here.
yeah. It's interesting to like to try to bring it all together. And yeah, I've been trying to I have a link tree, and it helps like when I'm live streaming to get like I would suggest that if you have like a live stream or where or like that people are asking, like
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah,
stuff like
yeah.
that would help, like just because they can go to where they want to go,
That's
like if they want
exactly
to go to a
it.
Twitch. But it's hard. Like I was at one point I was thinking of going out in just the world and like getting a QR code sticker with my channel and just
Yeah.
putting it in places, but I was like, I wonder if I'll get some weirdos though. I was like,
That's the
okay, we'll
thing.
hold
Like
off on that
some
idea.
guy I don't know scanning it.
Yeah, just like some dude in San Francisco that managed to get a cell phone. He's like, yeah,
Yeah,
what's up, man?
yeah,
Give me money. Hey, where do you live, bro?
yeah. That's
Just like,
exactly it. It's like, all right, maybe not.
yeah. So there's ways to get it out there. I think, yeah, but
Yeah, I have
the one channel though, like you're on the right track, dude.
yeah.
It's all it's
We got the website up,
looking up.
so like everything. If you go to chewing the rag
Oh shit, let me see.
podcast.com, that's where like you could get everything. I had a link tree at one point, and then I had like a WordPress, and then I moved it to chewing the rag podcast.com, and that's where all our links are. So
Chewing the rag.
anytime, oh shit, yeah. It used to be no podcast, and I had to type in podcast.
Oh, this is sick though.
Yeah.
I mess
Yeah.
with
So
this,
like
dude. Hell
that's
yeah.
where it's like you want all the platforms, merch, everything's right there. It just made it way easier instead of telling people,
Nice. Yeah. That dude, that's sick.
because
It looks
pods
nice.
especially, like people are like, oh, well, where can I find it? And I'm like, well, what do you use? Like, it's just easier to be like, everywhere you can find it is at this website. You
Yes.
then it's up to you to be like, oh, I like Spotify, I like
That's
Apple,
a good
whatever it is.
that's a good
So
move.
yeah, no, it's
Yeah,
been
dude.
fun figuring everything out. It's been sweet. I'm enjoying it.
Nice,
That's what I
dude.
tell everybody. I'm like, the moment you'll know when it's not fun because you just won't hear from me anymore. I'll just disappear. Like
Yeah.
the pod's gone, everything. He just fell off the face of the earth.
Yeah, dude. And back to like, yeah, like that's if you're doing something that comes naturally to you like this,
Yeah,
then it just won't stop, you know? Like I've seen like as I've kind of grown up and I've like grown up on YouTube and watched like YouTubers here and there and like seen people that I became fans of. It's like some of them are like, yeah, man, this is all becoming too much for me and
yeah, of
I'm gonna
course.
like just stop now. And I'm just like, damn. And I always wonder, I'm like, is there a way to not have that happen? Is there a way to
Right.
like kind of just keep it sustainable? So that's like literally like been my mission with
I
this
think
whole
it's
content thing.
I think it's just have fun with it. The moment you're like
Mm,
I've always told myself like I'll treat it like work, as in I'll put work into it, but
mhm.
like I just try not to look at it like work. I'll treat it that way, but I
Ah,
just want to have fun with it. Like I enjoy talking. I like I said, stand up comedy and whatnot. I enjoy just like shooting the shit with people. So
hell yeah.
I think that's what it really is for me. Is just the moment I'm like dragging feet and I don't want to DM people and ask them for interviews, then it's like, all right, well, you fell out of love with it. Like you just don't like it anymore. But
Mm,
right now, we're cooking. We're good.
exactly. You're cooking. As long as it's cooking,
That's all that
you're
matters.
chilling, bro.
But I don't know. I don't know. It's weird because I've seen that same thing where it's people who, and they're people who are very good at what they do.
Mm,
And I just don't know if it's because they're taking it on their own, they don't have a team with them, or what it is.
uh,
But I've seen that where it's just, I don't want to do this anymore. I can't. There's a lot going on. It's like, dude, take a break. I don't know. I don't know, man.
yeah, yeah. The latest thing for me I've seen is just kind of like, you know, if people get really big and then, you know, their fan base gets mad at them for one thing or another,
Yeah,
it's like I know
that's the worst.
that's the worst,
It's
right?
like,
That
oh
look that
man.
just does not seem fun. And but I at the end of the day, I think those level of streamers are kind of opening up themselves to it to an extent. If you're like, this
Yeah.
is my full-time job for people to just be watching every word I say, so
Yeah,
it
at a
can't be
certain
perfect.
point, yeah, at a certain point, you need to unfortunately censor yourself a little bit. Let's use our
Yeah,
heads here.
yeah, man. It's just I think it's a trip because it really is the main form of content these days.
It
People
is.
are on the internet, and most people are paying attention to it. And so people that run it and people that stream just get so used to this being their life, and just I just do
Yeah.
this at home. It doesn't feel like it's
Yeah,
it's a
that's
phenomenon.
exactly it. Like I'm in a room in my own house, comfort of my home. I could do and say what I want. And it's like you
There's also
you're forgetting about the people who are right in
thousands of
that
people,
corner,
right?
like that
Yeah.
viewer count. And it's like, no, you can't do it, I promise.
Yeah, I feel like they have to like they sometimes just feel like that's not real. Like the huge
Yeah.
streamers, like at some
Yeah.
point to not freak out. There might be some detachment there, but yeah,
No,
man.
it's
I'd rather get there. Like I'd rather be like a gaming grandpa, you know, like get
yeah.
just keep on doing it and just like keep
Yeah.
do it for life, bro. Because
Yeah.
yeah, I don't want to get burnt out. But the way
Hell
you're
yeah.
doing it, dude, just doing what you enjoy, bro, it's the way to go.
Yeah, no, you too. I mean, that's why I wanted you on here because it was just like I said, I was watching you since UFC 4. And then I saw you playing, Fallout, other games, and it was like a variety stream. It wasn't just UFC. I was like, all right, cool. And it's just like you can kind of get a read on like, oh, this is a good dude to talk to,
Mm,
And then there's
I'm
other
glad.
guys where you're watching them and you're like, he's a good streamer, but he's probably not a good conversationalist. Like he's not really paying attention to his chat. He's in it for the game. Like
Yeah.
there's just different. You get a read on people, and you just see like a good, fun dude to talk to. So it was sweet.
For sure, bro. And I'm glad. I'm glad it came out that way. Like that's the way I try to run my streams. Like I understand like there's some people they're just yeah, they don't really talk to their chat, but
Yeah,
yeah,
which is
I'm
fine
there to
too. Like,
that's yeah, like
but
some people are really good at games and that's why they're playing it and this
yeah,
and that. But yeah, I always did it for the community aspect, so I'm just
yep,
glad that's a viable. It works, you know. It works
hell
well.
yeah. Well, John, we are a little over an hour here. Uh, I know
Yeah,
you have a
man.
link tree. I'll put that right in the description. Where can people find you? Go ahead and plug whatever you want to plug here.
Oh man, so the biggest one is TikTok. Everything though that you want to look me up on TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, it's all Jon Ramirez, JonRamurz. And yeah, I'm on Reels, I'm on Instagram, I'm on YouTube, but stream to Twitch and TikTok the most. So that's most of the time where I'm at, and then my videos go to TikTok most of the time too.
Hell yeah, and
So
that'll
that's where you
all
can
be
find
right
me.
in the description of this episode. And I appreciate you coming on. It was fun. You know, it doesn't like same thing you mentioned earlier. An hour just doesn't feel like an hour.
Dude,
That
I
flew by.
know it's crazy. After we were done talking about all the fights and stuff, I was like, dude, 40 minutes. I was
I
like, this is
know. It's like I
that's
was like,
that's the best types of episodes right there, bro, for sure. And we'll
it
have to do it
is.
again sometime, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I appreciate you coming on and I look forward to watching your streams.
Dude, thanks so much again. I'll catch you soon, all right?
Thanks, brother.
All right, take care, man. Later.